Godspeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again. Oh, sorry, sorry, Buvdash. Sorry, Buvturkish. Thank you for joining me again on another day, another moment, another opportunity for us to come together and celebrate, waiting patiently for this future we keep talking about. Yeah, yeah. It's Zano's birthday. Susanna's birthday today. So we're gonna dance with her in mind. I'm gonna start smoking this joint. I wrote calm, rustig, the Afrikaans word for calm, on this. We still do not have electricity. I haven't taken a shower because when the power is out, so is the water. So I feel like a filthy animal right now. But with that filthy animal energy in mind, we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance. Your friend's ready. Thank you, Shad. Yeah. Happy birthday, Zano. You deserve all of the lovins in the world. Let me see if I can find a track though. Look at my strong and capable brother. Walking about. Yeah, the not having electricity is pretty rough. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. But at least we had like a little bit of electrons left in the battery. It is like on 30% or something right now. So at least we can do the stream. At least we can do the stream. So it's not all bad. It could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. Let's see. I haven't saved any new tracks, so I'll just push the shuffle button. Let's see what it gives me. Feel good. It's a Memento Mori track. Maybe this one will resonate for you, Zano. If it starts playing. Oh, it is playing, but it's just... Here we go. Here we go.
Hello.
I know I need to take control. For a second, everything makes sense.
The track is not bad. It's not bad, but it's not the best. And I want it to be the best. Zano. Let's see. Born and raised I'm sorry. I know I'm being DJ half track right now. I know, but I want to I want it to be perfect. The OCD is kicking into hard. Chemical Noise and Psycho Cat. A Forza de Tambor. Maybe this is the one. Hey, Nancy and Dan and Shan and Joe and Schmo and Shell and Pepperman Mononoke. Been a while, friend. It is Zano's birthday. Susanna's birthday. Tell her happy birthdays. All of the happy birthdays in chat. Love is true. Whose birthday? Zano's.
Satisfaction. Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction. 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 Satisfaction.
That it? Very slow. So slow. I love Melty. Revolution family. I love fucking Capital Sound. We're tripping me out, dude. Slippery Fingers. And the type. Mentally projecting birthday song for the Beatles. Duck, that's your two. Sending you love as well, man. Okay, let's see if we get a faster track. That was almost like a rest dance. We didn't really get our heart beating on that one. But this one is called Menumas versus The Witcher. Or at least those are the two creators. And the song is called Power. Power. You got power? You got powers? Spam powers in the chat. Peppy Face says, this ain't dancing. She's like, bruh, where's the speed at, though? Where's the intensity, she wonders. Maybe that'll be our scene for now.
And you know what? They may have the money, but we have the truth. We have the truth, and we have the people, and we have the passion, and we have the power.
We received some visitors. People looking for people. Oh, oh, oh. Kids here wearing 2 shirts for the first time in a week. Get better soon. Can't always put up with your message. Power. What a fitting melt. Right? Right? And this is like random songs, right? Or I mean remixed, shuffled. That's the word. This song was meant to be. You friends being here right now, I'm sending you powers. I'm sending you powers. Got some powers being sent to you. Let's go, powers. Feel the powers.
And you know what? They may have the money, but we have the truth. We have the truth, and we have the people, and we have the passion, and we have the power.
So, Pippi, what do you have to say? What do you have to say? What do you have to say? Let us know what Pippi has to say. Oh, you want to say woof woof? Want to say more woof woofs? Let's say to everybody woof woof. You can be heard. You're so heard. You are heard. We hear you. We hear you. You are heard. Please give us some peace. Please. Please. Thank you. You want to say more? You want to say hi? Does everybody know woof woofs? Like what? Yeah. I heard you. Yeah, thank you. It's enough now. Okay, it's enough. That's enough. I'll say. I say woof tickies. Pippi, Pippi, alsjeblieft, woeftertjies. Rustig wees. Rustig wees vir ons. Pippi. She's really up and at 'em. And in her little mind, she's keeping me safe. She's like, who are these foreign people? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Go away. Go away. This is my place. I keep this place safe. This is my place. This is my place. Hello. Indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. I know I've said it before, but it's so nice. Gotta say it again. I attempted to learn how to twerk one time. Machi got so freaked out he ran into the kettle. Never tried again. It was like, bro, what are you doing? You need to stop doing that. Work lurk. Love you. Joe, thank you for joining us. Even the lurking. Out of breath makes me feel out of breath too. I just need to sit and breathe a little bit. I'm gonna be screen interacting with you friends today because my tablet isn't charged. We still don't have power. Shh. Don't let the universe hear me say that. We have power. We have power. We have power. So much power. 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 So much power. Let the power. 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 Yeah, power. We got power. We're manifesting the power back. So at least we know what happened now. Apparently a transformer. The realistic part of my mind knows that it's a box that transforms voltage. You know, AC, DC nonsense, right? I'm not gonna get into the technicalities of it. But the kid in me wants to imagine there are actual transformers out there. Robots in disguise facilitating our electricity. And one of them got blown up, got so wrecked for some reason. That's not specified. And because of this inconvenience, they have to replace the transformer. But then the people that had the transformer didn't have the right truck to transport it. So they had to get a bigger truck. And now they're waiting for the big truck to be gotten so that they can get the transformer to where they need to get it so that it can be fixed. So today's theme is waiting for the future, right? Patiently waiting for the future. Weirdly enough, since I haven't been using any of my devices because they didn't have charge, and I did get to charge some of them, we have like car batteries, 2 car batteries, 3 car batteries that had some electrons in them that have been like, it feels almost like the equivalent of putting an IV drip in a UPS, where we're like IV dripping a UPS so that it, can continue powering the Wi-Fi. And now we can be live. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. Like, I don't know if your friends probably in the yoga heard it. Basil has been trying to keep the generators running because the fridges haven't been powered in more than like 30 hours right now. And the amount of anxiety that just last year around this time we had with me having to do the same thing, running back and forth, the stream dropping, trying to get it back live, freaking pull starting a generator, fuel. The future is now. We don't have to wait for the future. We are in the future. We have batteries. Like, we all have batteries, right? At least in some form. We can charge our cell phones. And even if, our electric grids fail us, we can still keep them charged. And they don't need that much charge, right? You can like technically charge your essential device, which is basically your cell phone, with like a relatively small, like 100-watt solar panel, which is like less than $100 these days. The batteries might put you back a little bit more, like between $100 and $300, depending on, what the technology is like, if they can actually take a solar input. I digress. We live in the future. Woo! We made it! Yay! Yay! We're in the future. We're in the future. I know I'm making a joke, but I'm kind of serious. There is a shift coming. The awakening has begun. There's more of us that have access to information than ever before. And that number grows every day. Huh? You think about that? That just now, someone used the internet for the first time in their lives. Just now, someone might tune into this stream as their very first internet experience. Isn't that brain melting? And it's not long, friends. I actually believe in the optimistic future. Part of me feels I have to, like there's no option, right? Like, why would I want to believe in a non-optimistic future, right? Why would I take doggos into my home if I don't have an optimistic future? Huh? Like, what's the point? What's the point if we don't believe there's more good to come? And then realizing by showing up for the more good that is to come, you actually come by more good, right? You show up for love, and then sure, love is there. You friends, look at you, all of you loving beings. So nice to be here with you, friends. To learn again. I love that fractal though. Oh, holy friend. Yes. Your bot makes me smile. Who are your visitors? So, first visitors were someone that was commissioned to take a block of stone or granite, got cut, got put in my mom's new bathroom that my dad has been building for her over the last 13 years. It's been like one of those things where if my mom is gonna start complaining about something and I see her following a certain fractal, I know that eventually she's gonna mention the fact that she doesn't have this bathroom after 13 years of her asking. So it's actually happening and it makes me so happy, right? It feels like a part of her future, the future she imagined for herself, is coming to reality. And there is great lessons to be learned in things like that. I heard this beautiful piece of wisdom in Stunts. I think it's called Stunts. This Jonah Hill documentary. Beautiful film. Such great wisdom about snapshots we make in our mind about certain ideal futures, right? In my mind, at this point, my ideal future is having electricity again, right? I'm like, yeah, that's such a great ideal future. I totally want to live in that future where I have electricity. It would be swell. But technically, I already do have electricity. I live in the future to such an extent that the electricity that was has been captured and now is slowly feeding out to make this stream a reality. There's one in this. There's one in that little thing as well that's actually capturing this audio feed. There's one in each and every single one of your friends' devices. Taking a snapshot of what your ideal future is supposed to be is a static thing. You know, it lacks the depth of you actually experiencing the fullness of what that means, right? So in the same way, for my mom, having had this snapshot in her mind of having her own bathroom, right? That was her thing. Her own bathroom and a place to store her clothes away from my dad's, right? That's been her thing for so long. That's been her snapshot in her mind. And it's relatively two-dimensional. Sure, it's a three-dimensional snapshot of what she wants in her mind, but it's a two-dimensional part of her life. Huh? And she has been applying so much value to this slice to the point where it might have robbed herself of the realization of where she is right now, right? And myself as well. Noticing today how slow time passed because I wasn't using the internet. I was kind of astonished. We wait sometimes, mostly, by distracting ourselves. And especially these days, waiting for the future. It is the future to the point where being distracted is almost like it's almost like the norm. I'm trying to communicate this trippy idea that I'm seeing in my mind, where we have been waiting for the future as humanity this whole time. Sure, we're still doing things. We're still realizing new ideas. We're still implementing new tools. Our science is getting better, et cetera, right? That's still happening. But on a general scale, there very much is this waiting, right? Waiting for something, waiting for this future, waiting for this new project to come, waiting for this new job opportunity, waiting for add your thing here. And I have a long list. I have a long list. And fortunately, I believe your list can be good, right? You can make snapshots that have more depth to them than just a two-dimensional snapshot of what you believe you need in your life in order to be happy, in order to feel you are in the future you want to be in. And it's this weird trip of because we live in this age, right? Again, I'm going to echo the fact that we live in the future right now, and then try to attach it to the experiences I've had directly. Just last year this time. And sure, the technology was available last year as well. But because of your friends' support, we've had the financial means to actually get these things, these microphones, right? Not having to deal with wind noise anymore. The UPS, getting to keep the Wi-Fi on, even if the power is out for extended periods of time, like right now. You friends have made the future possible in a weird way for me as well. Like the more I show up in this space, the more hopeful I become that a good future is actually in store for us. So many of you friends have showed up, and it's trippy to me that there's such a depth of friends who just tune in and watch, right? Absorb the message that was sent, that was extracted from the universe, if you will. And you friends still gain just as much. Sometimes people reach out to me and tell me that they have been watching and something has really touched them. If that isn't the future, I don't know what is, right? Being able to make meaningful change. Giving people hope. Giving myself hope. Shit. I need some hope these days. Definitely huffing hopium. Making flowers. Oh, growing little flowers. It's how you set up your coping mechanisms. Shit. This is all the water I have. Oh, the taps aren't working. Like you really realize how many things you take for granted when they're not there. Mm. I'm sorry that you had to hear that. I didn't tell the water I love it. Love you, water. Coping mechanisms. It's just what you do to cope, and all of us cope differently. God damn it, Megatron. Love AC/DC. Back in Black. More meets the eye. Deceptions were bad as your friends are. And the fractals. Yes. I feel my smile. So much love. Thank you. Thank you, John. I saw one of the replica Bumblebee out of the yellow cameras at the audio show. It was sick. I thought it was fitting that the movie was made, the Decepticons, into police vehicles. I mean, yeah. The stream did open with a theme of power, right? Power. We are the ones in power, dear friends. That hasn't changed. We've just been convinced otherwise. And not even convinced otherwise. Too entertained to not be. Right? Like I imagine, the amount of power there lies in just collective putting of the foot down, right? And being like, hey, how about things change? How about an infinitely growing economy that if it shows any sign of not infinitely growing on a finite planet with a finite amount of humans isn't sustainable? Right? I know this concept, sustainability, as it terrifies you as a businessman. Oh no! I need to sustain. I can't make all of the profits in the next 6 months. I need to make all of the profits now. Why not tomorrow? I know I just invested, but how about I start seeing gains like from 5 minutes from now? That would be great. Yeah, and it does because it presses the dopamine button in your brain, being like, yeah, you did a good job. Yeah, oh yeah, good job. But we're doing a good job. Look around you. I mean, if anything, with this one to do good job with numbers, going up, having made numbers, especially in the currency sense, a god to us, where we can use these number values to exchange for anything. Anything, right? With enough number value, you can anything. Right? That is bound to fuck with your human brain. Because usually anything wasn't possible in that way. And technically, we really do get ourselves super fascinated with infinity. But within a financial model, like money, an infinity in your bank account is impossible. Surely you'll reach a statistical relative infinity to your own spending capacity. But you'll never get to this infinity that the human mind craves. And there is infinity right in front of you. Right, you are in the future. There is no future. You're here. You're here, sir. In this little box that is you living in the future right now. Or technically, there's like theories that we're living in like a few millisecond old memory right now. That one is a little bit weird. Yeah. It's a theory, if anything. It's a little mental snippet to put in your brain and see if it melts into the grooves or slides right off. Yes, I'm sorry. Jovan, you are a force of nature. You have an air about you that inspires love and happiness. You are a healer and an artist and a loving creature. I'm happy to have you in my world. Damn. Damn, Joe. Those are some love is truths right there. Here we go, Joy. He's with a big strong man with a man's child. Oh, so I got a little bit distracted. So the first people that came was the person that just added the s- the slab of stone for my mom, right? She wants her own bathroom, of course. And the second person was actually the local pastor, to which the youth pastor is that I talked about. They might be listening. I haven't actually thought about this, but they actually might be listening. I love you, right? You do realize that. I just think you, I just think something's wrong. Clearly something is not working. Clearly there's some sort of clash of truth. And it grinds my gears. Okay. And for some reason they were cutting wood. Maybe it seems there was some sort of bonfire going to go happening. I think they're still cutting wood. I can still hear a chainsaw in the background. I don't know if you friends can. So yeah, got a little bit distracted. Love. Melt so giddy, I'm worried. Yeah, I've surrendered. I've got into radical acceptance. Oh yes, listen to me. So woketh, so enlightened. Oh. But seriously, radical acceptance. I'm like, oh wait, guess this is my situation. Mm. Mm. Yeah, okay. All right. Situation. I'm situating, right? And fortunately, I'm feeling this still, right? Even though on top of everything I just said, here comes the other side of the infinity. I am looking forward to looking back at these moments and realizing that these were some of the darkest times, right? Metaphorically, it's literally dark right now because the lights aren't on. But also, to our human psyche, to what we'll think about where we were as a species at this point in our journey, we'll probably be like, yes, if only if only they knew how silly they were being. And that is the way I see, our current time in history. It's not the end. It's just a turning point where we're like, okay, we really pushed it, with the inequalities, with the extremities, with the separation. We were so convinced that we're all separate, living our own individual lives, not influencing anything, meaning nothing in the grand scheme of the universe, right? Or right now is the most significant time ever, ever. Because if it wasn't, why would you be here for it? If we're gonna assume the belief, right? Maybe the knowing of, right? We don't have to believe it, we can know it intrinsically. That consciousness is what we refer to when we say the word source or the universe or the creator. I'm not gonna say the other one. Shh. Okay, let me continue reading comments. So yeah, Joyviv, I'm in a state of acceptance. I'm feeling pretty light as a result of it. It's almost like when you start realizing that this bearing pressure that's pushing down on you is you're like, oh, wait a second. Maybe you should stop doing that. We should stop. And I also got a lot of rest. I spent like 4 hours meditating today, just being like, felt like I was washing a part of myself. Yeah, I mean, words communicate things, and this part of myself that needed to be washed wasn't dirty as much as it was cluttered, right? With a bunch of ideas that wasn't necessarily serving me, belief systems, patterns of thinking. And I'm still noticing them, but I'm noticing them and still acting in accordance to what I do believe. Like my brother has been so cold, like ice cold, frigid. Oh, my heart needs this. It's like I feel like this cold kind of like encroaching on me, and my heart needs to pump extra hard to just keep itself alive. This is me dramatizing, of course, but I still, I respond in kindness. It is hard, and I still have the inner. "Me, me, me, me. Oh, this- and then I'm like, hey, shh, shh, shh. I know, dude. I know it sucks. It sucks. Doesn't feel good to be ignored. Doesn't feel good to uh, be short to. Is that the correct phrasing? When someone is short to you, right? It doesn't feel. It just feels like you're not worth their time, and that's not a great experience. And then I realized that I'm not really. And this feels insensitive saying it, but I'm not losing something if he's not there for it, right? If it's, again, talking about that faking of connections, that a connection is made or it isn't. And you cannot fake that connection. You have to kind of feel into it. It's like rhythm. You cannot think rhythm. Sure, you can go dum da dum 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 da dum 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 dum. But I thought about a rhythm, and then as soon as I started making the rhythm, I had to feel into the rhythm in order to continue making the rhythm. It's your heartbeat. It's the frequency of this universe. A sine waving. You going back and forth into states of being. And the cool thing about these rhythms is that there are multiple different states of being in like frequencies, right? Just for instance, your brainwaves. We talked about brainwaves a little bit ago. You have like a whole plethora of different brainwave states, and those different brainwave states induce different states of being when you interact in the world. Figuring out what kind of state we want to be in. The state of gratitude is a good one. There's this cool experiment where in that student's documentary, the psychologist goes, close your eyes. And I'll do it with you. And this might be weird, all of us collectively closing our eyes. Nothing's gonna happen. We're just gonna imagine things that we're grateful for. Thinking and saying maybe out loud even, I'm grateful for my dad. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for the friends that are joining me right now in this experience. I'm grateful for this body that I'm in. I'm grateful for my Pippi, as loud as she can be. I'm grateful for the birds. I'm grateful for power. And then we'll start again with this I'm grateful for, but then not completing the sentence. Just almost giving yourself that momentum of, oh, I am grateful for wanting to say something and just being there. I'm seeing a mushroom as I'm closing my eyes. I'm grateful for the mushrooms as well, sure. I'm grateful for yo. I mean, it's probably because of my closing of the eyes and the light shining through my eyelids, but opening my eyes again, it was exponentially more blue. It was like, I'm grateful for the blue. I'm grateful for you. Thank you, friends. Thank you. So many of your friends. Like I wonder about you friends a lot. I wrote a poem that made me cry yesterday. Should I read it for you? I think I'm gonna. I have like 20% charge left, but usually doing these streams and reading the comments on the second screen takes like 20% of the battery, and I still need to be journaling. Hopefully the power will be on by tonight or something. But it was yesterday's Patreon flower. Let me show you what it looked like. You see those things? I imagine them to be some sort of psychedelic droids. And then the hearts, of course. And I believe there are some foxies as well. So the poem goes, the title of it at least. Let the sadness be. Let yourself be sad. And it's so basic, and it's that way intentionally, right? Trying to make the sadness simple almost. Because we really complex or add complexity to how sad we are, why we're sad, the layers of our sadness. We romanticize why we're so sad. We can have a lot of reason to be sad. I'm not discounting that. So that's why I wrote this poem. Let yourself be sad. Sad doesn't have to be bad. Wanting to feel one way. No, sorry. Let me start over. I missed the line. Let yourself be sad. Sad doesn't have to be bad, but it does have to be felt. Wanting to feel one way, all the other ways go gray. There is no lack in feeling what you may. Keep feeling you will be okay. You came here for a reason, so please stay. Yeah? Yay. Please stay, dear friends. Like, I know things are probably going to get pretty weird. Things are definitely going to get weird. There's going to be a lot of weirdness going around. There's going to be a lot of things unfamiliar. There's going to be a lot of experiences that will feel so foreign we won't know how to feel about them. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Right? Maybe there's some genuine value to be had in experiencing this amount of novelty. Because it will be new. You can bet your ass you haven't had an experience like this one before. Oh no, you live in the future now. There's a literal artificial intelligent assistant that you can access with your cell phone right now. Right, that's the reality we live in. What? You made some interesting sounds, dude. My heart right now, right? Even mine, Joe, melted. Our solar panels for homes use very much an essay. More and more so. They do want to tax us. They want to do a solar tax on all of our solar panels, where they basically force people that install solar panels to report the exact amount of solar you extract from the sun. And then they're like, yeah, right, that energy you're producing is worth X amount. So we're going to solar tax you every month on that amount of solar you produce. Power. Okay. The squirrels are trying to hide in Maltese hair. I feel it, dude. I walked through the Africa exhibit yesterday and melted the Field Museum. Wasn't much about South Africa. You should come and see it for yourself, I think. I think that's the only option. Joe, that makes me laugh so hard. Because it is a squirrel nest here. Season here. Tears it up on YouTube, but it's beautiful. Love you, friends. Skibbabity sklump with skimfoglarf. Yes. Oh, that documentary is amazing, Melty. It's so beautiful. Who needs tears? Thank you for joining us. I need to watch this again. Do. It's worth it. Gabra, so much love is being shared. Most of the pretty facts about Africa history doesn't reside in essay. Yeah, there's some. South Africa has a pretty dark history. Yeah, there's like a lot of whack shit that happened here. Our people are pretty traumatized, and we don't really talk about it too much. I mean, sometimes we talk about it, but mostly no, we don't talk about it. We'd rather complain about the electricity not working, for example. We're like, yeah, how about Escom? How about that shit? And like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah. And then we relate a little bit more. Suds was good. Tears, mine too. Also had I had a proper moment of crying. I had a proper moment of crying watching that. It was slavery. So yeah, exactly. That happened as well. I mean, I don't think we had slavery as much as we had segregation in South Africa. Before that, we had the English feeding people glass in concentration camps as well. That also happened in South Africa. And then before that, we had like settlers invading the local lands, pillaging and killing people. Yeah, that's my ancestors. It's fantastic. I know. That's reality I have to live with every day. And yet, I do believe we're not making those same mistakes. I feel like we've reached a level of being like, how about shiz, and I know this might be a lot, but how about we don't be dicks to one another? I'm sorry for my profanity. How about we don't be meanies? Stop being such a meanies. You weenies. uh, and it's like it's a joke, right? That's why I jokingly say that in the future we'll probably look back and be like, "Yassi, dude, people were really rude," and we're almost being trained to be rude, right? And in some extent, we have been more separated from one another than we've ever been. Like we trip out about segregation, right? As a horrible part of South Africa's history, and that happened in America as well, of course. A horrible part of our history. And yet, at this point in our existence and in our experience, we're more segregated and separated than we've ever been. Now we're literally separated to the point where we just stay in our homes most of the time. Right? You don't have to control public areas when people don't want to go to public areas. And that's the trippy part, because they've made all the whole world. They've made the whole world available to you on this device. And I don't bash that. I don't think it's evil. I think it's a part of the tools we have. Again, we'll probably look back from the point in the future to our current digital hygiene and the things we expose ourselves to. Right? Just because you have access to literally everything, anything and everything all of the time, doesn't mean you have to ceaselessly be in contact with that. I think it might be a useful extension that you access when it's necessary, right? And that necessity might arise more often for some than it does for others. But at the same time, the other side of that necessity is the necessity of taking care of your body, taking care of your relationships, and then taking care of yourself. Also, a student's little tool they were talking about, right? This body is an extension of you. It's not all of you. There's nothing wrong with you, right? That's it. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't exercise because there's something wrong with you. Also, from the students, you exercise because you love you, and moving this body is good for you. And you want to do good things for yourself, right? You want to do that. Then you want to be good to other people, to your relationships, as hard as it may be sometimes, especially when they make it hard for you to be sometimes. And then all of that leads up to you being able to take care of yourself, your psychological, subconscious, shadow self. I identified mine today. My shadow self is extreme and unending rage. Visceral, extreme, and unending rage. Like, imagine the sun just screaming forever until it explodes. That's my shadow self. And kind of like confronting that part of me today, I realized that I am trying to incorporate it, live side by side with it instead of shun it. That whole topic of being dangerous came back again. being dangerous and still acting with virtue. Ooh, growing up. I'm turning 25 soon. I wasn't supposed to turn 25. I thought I was still 18. I was like, I'm 18, right? And then I was 25. What the fuck? I mean, I know I'm not that version of me anymore. A lot of change has happened. That is true. Change is bound to happen. I tried to have this conversation with my brother today. I'm like, dude, are you noticing this underlying feeling that there is great change coming? And he looks at me and he goes, no, ek voel nie goeters nie. Which is like the direct translation is, no, bro, I don't feel things. Right? I'm like, do you feel this underlying energy of great change coming? No, bro, I don't feel anything. And like that's the end of the conversation. I'm like, okay, all right, bro. And then I tried again. I'm like, okay, so maybe we could think about it logically instead of just feeling. There is two scenarios in our future. One where things remain the same and nothing changes. Let's think about that potential future. Or the future where everything changes. Which is more likely, right? Thinking about Bayes' reasoning. What's more likely, change or no change? And then he cuts the conversation off again. And the change doesn't have to be scary, right? Another little bit of wisdom that was wisely shared on this stunts is the three things all of us will have to deal with in this lifetime. That being a human inherently comes with pain, okay, uncertainty, and ceaseless, unrelenting work. Those things are going to be a part of our reality. Pain, uncertainty, and ceaseless relenting work. And I've dealt with the pain part. In fact, now I seek pain. Now I put myself through discomfort and exercise and cold showers because I believe being able to weather that pain makes me stronger. I don't lose anything in being able to bear that pain. And I have this, during the last few weeks, kind of come to this acceptance of ceaseless, relentless work, right? That felt like a heavy responsibility to bear. And I was like, well, I am, again, from the same narrative, strong enough to actually bear that responsibility. But the one that kind of caught me off guard is the middle one, uncertainty, right? Uncertainty. That we're going to have to deal with uncertainty. And I don't like uncertainty. I actually appreciate knowing things. I feel like, again, I have been conditioned as a child. And I'm not trying to blame my parents. I'm blaming myself because that's the way I interpreted the world. That being right about things is good. And when you're right about things, that means you're more valuable as a person in society, as a person to be listened to, as a person whose opinions needs to be taken into consideration. If you're right more often than you're wrong, your opinions matter more, right? And that broke my brain as a small kid, where I started ceaselessly consuming information because I needed to be right about everything. And then seeing, right, this part of reality that I have been fighting against, uncertainty, as like a fundamental part of my reality, that no matter how much data I get to consider, even if I augment myself to the point of superhuman intelligence, I still won't be able to consider all nodes of information just in the observable universe. Never mind what's outside of the observable universe. Never mind if there are multiverses, right? Like it's impossible. It's impossible for me just on this scale to consider all nodes of information, no matter how advanced our technology gets or how advanced our consciousness allows ourselves to interface. And that is our future. That is at least, a branch of the human future. So we have to realize that instead of making and accelerating towards this knowing that this is what we're supposed to be knowing. And you can apply that logic even to the extremes of intelligence, right? Even if you're hyper intelligent and you still can't consider all nodes of information, what you know in that moment is what needs to be known from that perspective, from that conscious observer's perspective. Know that you're supposed to know this right now, not what you're supposed to know in the future. Because what you know in the future is for your future self to know. Don't be greedy. Want to take from your future self. Be like, yeah. And I would absolutely. If I could take from my future self, he's so well off. He doesn't need all of that. Come on, dude, give me some information, give me some money, anything, bro, any handouts. Come on, you have so much. He's like, nah, bro, if I help you right now, I don't get to have what I have because I didn't get to work for the way you. And I'm like, fine. You know what I'm saying. All of us are that. We actively are that. It's a little bit of a extreme one when it comes to responsibility. That we really can't wait for something or someone to save us. It is going to have to be a collective effort. We will save us, right? All of us. It's just about finding alignment, finding a truth, finding one truth we can all agree upon. Right? How do we get people to agree on it? I don't know if I can. Maybe actually, I think you might have. Like when I tell my dad love is true, he tells me 1 plus is. Oh my goodness, he does this, right? And I think a part of him probably thinks that is a valid retort, and I respect it for that, right? That's why I can see it. But when I tell him, when he kind of like tells me a certain dogma of how I might be damned for doing certain things, I tell him that I believe love is true, right? So if an actual loving God did create me, if we had to take the liberties to believe in a God, I believe in a God that loves me. That's the God I believe in. Period. Right? And no matter what I do, right, as a human being, he's gonna love me. But because I have that same love in return, I would like to act appropriately, accordingly, right? To keep myself in resonance with that level of love. And then he's like, bruh, saying love is true like that is like saying, 1 plus 1 equals love. So what do you think? Is 1 plus 1 equals love, or is 1 plus 1 equals 2? And I'm like, Dad, multiple things can be true at the same time. I'm just trying to find the truth with which I'm supposed to align. And that's what we're all trying to do, right? Finding our truth. And unfortunately, when we live someone else's truth, it will always feel that way. That's why I feel love is ambiguous enough to apply to every single one of us uniquely. Because what I love is vastly different to what each and every single one of you friends love. We will have, oversecting Vesica Pisces. Like that will still happen. But we will have unique things, ways of loving this world, ways of loving ourselves that is going to be, in the most reductive way of saying it, novelty. Novelty. That is what we try to achieve, right? At least that's what we need to be trying to achieve. And then again, talking about these coping mechanisms, trying to achieve novelty healthily, because you can achieve novelty in a great number of ways, some of them less healthy than others, worse for your mental health than some others might be. The Wi-Fi is still working. We're still going for it. Essay has a past that is similar to most of the Western cultures of the past few countries. Slavery, capitalism, colonialism, oh, very much so. Sad face facts about our leaders. The current background of the sun and melt is so incredibly beautiful. I am a mirror. You're seeing melt unshowered right now. I haven't showered because there's literally no water. Like you can't even get drops to fall out of the taps. So you're not even like this. That's the last of my water. Love you more. It's not getting heavier. I mean, there's definitely water molecules in the air here right now. 100%. I just need to figure out the magic of fill my bottle up with water again. Thank you. Okay. I made myself available for being dated and received an overwhelming amount of interest. Too much interest. I'm grateful for the experience of shifting through the muck to find a diamond in the rough. Yeah. I'm happy to hear that. It's me. I already know. Yes, dude. I mean, you ooze that layer of, I know who I am and what I'm here to do. All right. I don't need someone to facilitate my purpose. The purpose of me is me being here as myself right now. Right. And that level of stability cannot be taken from you. Nobody can take yourself from yourself. All right. Your body, your relationships, yourself. Don't take yourself away. Gav, hello, love is true. Thank you. Joe, for sending love as well. You deserve. Be picky, find a partner that works for you. Absolutely. Find love. Someone you can compromise and communicate effectively with. That's partnership material. Absolutely. We love you, Estienne. There's such a beautiful, strong force in this world. You friends empower me. Like I believe that refused. Whatever the word for that is, right? It's impossible for me to even for a second, split second, to refuse the fact that you friends are loving. Love you, Joe. Look at that. All the hugs. Love. I knew a breakdown was coming, Melty was too giddy. I mean, waves, right? There have to be waves. And now I feel like there's some stability. Now we're kind of like more chill. Find ourselves in this moment. The dance was powerful. Like a part of me was again scared. I like you friends have no idea the amount of anxiety I go through because it's very much you cannot fake it, right? And sometimes I try to, sometimes I have to fake dancing, where I'm like, am I having a good time right now? I wonder, is this enjoyable? What's actually happening right now? And then sometimes there's this experience of, yes, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now, right? There is no experience outside of this. And I feel you friends can know that as well. I feel like it is what we do when we come into this space. Like I can't give everything I would want to give to you, right? But I want to give this moment. An opportunity for serendipity, for you to hear I love you even if it's through a screen, through a little speaker. It still goes into your being. You are loved. You are loved. You wouldn't be here if you weren't loved, right? From the deity cosmic perspective, right, of a God having to create you, which you don't have to believe in. We can just reduce it to you love yourself enough to continue living, continue brushing your teeth, continue eating. You were loved enough to be fed as a child so that you actually could grow up to be in this moment right now. Love is true. You are loved. Continue loving. Continue bringing more of that love into the world. Like, if that is the only thing we do, we've done well. I do believe that. Melty, birthday tears, Zano, you were loved. So freaking loved. Melty, you were beautiful. Now you, all the love. Connor here too. Melty's got some serious energy coming off his aura right now. This is, I feel like this is kind of rough. This is unwashed, filthy, down in the dirt. I've like had my feet on the ground this whole time as well, grounding myself. The red light was just freaking flying through my brain. That's happening, right? Like, that red light is straight up going through my skin, through my bone, into my brain right now. And my neurons are like, red light goes into your bone marrow as well. I don't think we know even a fraction of what we're supposed to know about ourselves. And that's probably slightly, for the longest time, done on purpose. Right? If you suddenly had a lot of people realizing how powerful they actually are, that is a radical shift in how people interpret the world. I'm still astonished with how far I've come in the last year, thanks to you in this amazing space. You're such wonderful people. Now, love heals, love is true. Love you. Shan, you're doing well, right? You're actually showing up for yourself, seeing the change by being the change you want to see. I have to make all my profits in 2 months. I will make all my profits in 2 months. That feels more powerful. More powerful. Connor knows the good fight by bro, Duck Dad. That's why you're only been wearing one shoe for a week. Covered, I throw you in case you were first. Love is being shared. My Achilles tendon wearing walking boot. Joe torn Achilles, yes, of course. Shell, the space that held me in a couple of low emotional times, even when lurking. I love you. Like, that's like the feeling, right? What is there to say when I feel that feeling? Okay. Lit. Just lit. Love is true. That's so lit. Thank you, Connor. That's lit of that's lit of you to say. Thank you, Shell. So lit. Oh, that's so kind of makes me cringe, but it does make sense. Maybe that's the reduced way of saying it. Things I like about the Roman Empire and Byzantium. Roman wouldn't allow accumulation of the land by individuals. Byzantines made prices stable and the seller ate the loss. That's nice. It's a healing fast, but I need to keep wearing it. I did 6 walking miles of it yesterday. That's a lot, dude. 6 walking miles. Goodness. They definitely help. Like, think about this. I just smacked my shin with a wooden stool. Energy truly makes a difference, doesn't it? Oh, yes, it does. Like, there's a connection. The fact that we can make a connection globally, right? Like the fact that I live theoretically in your little cell phone or on your TV. This is me in your space. Look at me. Oh, wow. What a cool space you got. Thank you for bringing me into it. Was that weird? I'm sorry. Just pushing a full scaffolding full of plants. The pushing motion when I got stuck. Hurrying would be my guess. Ooh, that feels like a ripper. Sorry, had to go there. I scratched off a mole in my hairline. There's a shit, it bled little. That's all. I hope you heal quickly. Joe, little tears behind the calf. Felt like someone plucked the bass string in my leg. Oh, that is such a specific and disturbing way of visualizing a snapped tendon. Bass string, bump, bump, energetically, we're living through a powerfully transformational period of time. This is probably the most significant period of time in human history. Like this time, where we're like, oh yeah, humans went from normal people to people with the power of artificial intelligence, exponential artificial intelligence. And that's the tipping point we're in right now. A critter like us heal remarkably fast if we take the time to remind ourselves that we are injured. This is true. Don't work through it without using the boot. You know what I mean. I think he does. I'm very not good at resting injured parts, but I'm very good at treating the injury fast. I've been down similar roads many times before. A part of me wants to recommend stem cells to you. I don't know if I should do that. Should I be doing that? I wish stem cells were more accessible, because stem cells would really speed up the healing process as well. Consult your doctor, but duck that. Use code mel over XTRPs while I've been chasing butterflies. That sounds so nice, Joe. Yeah, love is healthy, of course. Love is an essential resource that we need as human beings, and if we go without it, we suffer. Oh, we suffer. We actually suffer. Because nobody wants to not be loved, right? At all. That's maybe somebody who's like, nah, nobody deserves to love me. I'm so unlovable. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't even love myself. And then you eat more food. Oh, you sucker, got you. You just loved yourself. Here, drink some of this very deliciously made mushroom broth. Yes, feed yourself, child. What's happening right now in my mind? Yeah. How can we hope to save everyone? And yet, how can we hope not to? It's such a inconceivable task that we don't even give ourselves the opportunity to conceive it. And I think it's a bandwidth thing, where we just simply do not have enough bandwidth as an individual right now to take everything into consideration, even though we want to. Nobly so. We would really want to take everything into consideration, but that would straight up melt our brains. Go all crystal skull on yourself. This is what we're supposed to know. I'm supposed to know that my back feels mildly tweaked. I'll do some more yoga. I did my yoga practice that I gave, but I didn't do yoga before. I just did grunt work, push exercises. I'm supposed to know that there are birds singing songs, that a sunset happened behind me, that this day is over, at least conceptually. Now it's just waiting for the future, left, right? Oh, waiting for tomorrow. Part of me feels that I'm supposed to be doing more work in the late hours of my night. Maybe there's some creativity hiding there. Connection is so natural. If you're trying to force one, then it's not a true connection. Exactly. Take time to nurture yourself. I'm doing. I really try to. I would like to take a shower. Maybe even a hot bath would be nice. I like to find those connections that you can't avoid, even if you tried. The space is something magical. You make it. So you have been here for so much of it. Joe, think about that, right? Like the space literally, unironically, would not be as magical if it wasn't for you being a part of it. The amount of 34s I've seen in my time doing this is it's astonishing. I think it would literally, we would be like mouth agape, gasping. How many times? Thank you, Joe, for your influence. All of you friends, so much for the influence that you have in this space. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Zano. I know you're not here anymore, but sending you lovin's. I'm gonna see if I can be a little bit more melody. That was a good poem. Thank you. Do you have? You do have a nice head shape. My head shape is nice. Why would you share information like that with me? Now I have to think about what shape my head is. I'm rendering in 3D. No, stop doing this. No, stop it. My girlfriend loves it when it's what? Probably because it's what's happening right now. Oh, the beard. Yeah, I want to actually shave my beard again. Like it's kind of bothering me as well. When it shaved, it was feeling off, so I just cut it, and it was figured it'd grow a new mob next season. Talking about hair, I guess. I get it. I love getting haircuts myself. It is a great change. I didn't cut it for 2.5 years. So you have short hair right now is what I'm taking. I miss feeling the breeze on my scalp. Sensational awakening. Yes. I mean, now you can go through the process of growing hair as the new version of yourself, right? You can be like, oh yes, you see all of this long hair that I have now. I actually had long hair and then I cut all of it off, and now this hair is the long hair I grew as this new version of myself, technically. People are gonna be like, wow, dude. So you don't want sugar with your coffee? So plus I get my scalp wrap now. When I fall asleep, it was a good change of pace. Absolutely. Like I actually have never in my life felt that prickly head feeling. I've never felt the wind on my scalp. My hair has never been that short in my life. Kristen, again a thank you. Kristen became a Patreon melting member yesterday. $4.44, triple four, manifesting into this space. Thank you, Kristen. Melty people, you're all awesome. Thank you for being in my life. Going to work now, sending you lovin's. Be safe. Be the expression of love in your workplace. Joe, thank you for nagging Doug to wear the boot. Yes, please. Take care of yourself, dude. Beats him, puts boot on, wakes up, sees boot on his foot. It's like, what the hell happened? It's like you were being rowdy. Gives him more injuries to make sure he doesn't injure himself. I mean, I look mean without mean when my head is shaved, and I don't really want to give off that energy. So I'm trying to dress like Melty and walk around barefooted like a modern monk. It's like, oh yes, this dude isn't a skinhead. He's enlightened. He's enlightened now. He's enlightened. Show so much love. Good morning. Did I just say an offensive? I'm sorry. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't actually just do that and keep running from it. Saying us here to melt more and beautiful friends. I'm glad to be here. I missed all of you, but I'm not feeling so good today. Can't stop coughing. Please send healing energies. Somewhere in the world, there's a person called Sena. She's moved a bunch, worked a bunch of different jobs because she didn't feel appreciated enough. Didn't feel the vibe was right of her employer, her boss. Now, she has a little bit of a constriction in her lungs. Coughing. Just imagining what it would be like if she was actually just breathing completely clearly. No cough, clarity of mind, clarity of breath. No slime. Sounds divine. All right. Sending you love, Sena. I hope you feel better soon. Cope the way you should, Connor. Cope well. Right, learn how to cope well. Sena, doing that right now. Energy to you. Also, hot tip, Tabasco by the teaspoon makes fresh, runny mucus in the lungs and helps move things. How about that? I kind of like Tabasco. I haven't had Tabasco in 1 year and 3 months or something, but that would be pretty nice again. Sending cool breezes and healing winds. Thank you for that, Joe. Thank you, friends, for sending so much love. Teaspoon of ginger root and 1 ounce of white rum, followed by warm lemon tea. No more cough. So my dad also has a remedy where he does like turmeric, ginger. There's some other root as well, probably. Paprika, donkey whistle, baking soda, lemon juice, and then he also like swallows all of that down, and it helps him a lot as well. So there you go, a bunch of remedies, Sena, if you're down for some natural ones. Usually, it is one of the 7 categories that the flower remedies are split into. I think I missed the context before, maybe. Maybe you shared something. The white rum is a catalyst. Oh, you're talking about the white rum that lets the body relax while the junk of the body goes, whatever it does. All know that's how it works every time. And the thing about alcohol, and this is maybe like a medicinal property of it, if used in the way that the Bach remedy does, or the way that this medicine you're suggesting does, alcohol penetrates all of your cells, all of them. It permeates. It just goes. It just goes like, yeah, wrecking your body. It doesn't care. It goes everywhere. And that can be a good thing if you're trying to transmit energies, or trying to induce frequencies of positivity. But if you do that in excess, right, to detriment, to desolation, to being wasting yourself, right? Your cells kind of are like, away. Guess this is what's happening to us. We're dying. We're killing ourselves, technically, slowly. And then we're backing off because the liquid that we kill ourselves with has like a point of blackout eventually. Sounds like Florida version of the hot toddy. That's actually white Jamaican rum, grounded root, local honey, lemon, and green tea. So much magic. Dude, I mean, these things have been around for as long as we've been around, right? And we just kind of forgot how to use them properly. Sounds so sacred and heavenly. It really does. Let me see. I want to skip to the present moment, but I also feel like I'm missing so much. My late friend, when on mushrooms, asked me if I knew how powerful I was. In that moment, he saw something in me. I'm not sure. I've yet to fully see it in myself. The look on his face told me he truly saw my power. It was beautiful. Now you just have to start seeing it too. Who needs tears, right? That's your future slice, right? Believing that someday, I'll see myself as this powerful entity that others can't. But that someday can be right now. Just realizing that in this moment, the actual words coming out of my mouth has been influenced by you. That is your power, right? That is what you can do in this world. You can influence people. And you do so well, probably, who needs tears. You do so well for me, right? And I can only find, like, again, small little slices in text of the person that you are. I'm blessed of hanging in an abundance of city water, even though I don't trust the city's method of treating the waters. I'm grateful that I have water flowing, even if it is full of poison. Yeah, it's like mostly water, little bit. But like, we're grateful for the mostly water. Yes, grateful, not angry. I didn't want to help, yet I feel as though I needed it. Should I continue trying to face this adversity silently, or should I cave in and ask for a professional? Find a professional friend. There's no shame in getting help. In fact, right, the fact that we have so much shame again getting help is probably why there's so many people who aren't getting help in the world right now. It has been stigmatized. Find yourself help if that is what you need right now. Please, dear friend. We are here to support you in your journey towards growth, towards your best self. We can't be your best self for you, right? That is the one thing you got. The one thing none of us can ever take away from you is yourself, your potential. Please do ask for help. Nobody can take yourself away from you. You're not going to lessen yourself. Please help. Okay? I've repeated it enough. I've been thinking of that interaction a lot with him since he passed away 3 months ago. I'm very much been thinking about all of our power. Today's stream hits nicely. You were here for it as well, right? The serendipity of that. I feel you, Melty. Growing up in the 90s, I'd never in my life would have thought in the future I'd have a piece of plastic watching a friend an essay with something called live chat happening with my friends. Yeah, that's... If you told me I was going to be the one facilitating a space like that, I'd feel like you're insane, dude. Do you know how awkward I am? People don't like me. People don't actually like talking to me. You want to sit on my lap? Or are you just using me as a stand? Okay, there we go. What can one do? The relationships we have with animals. It really is magical. The relationships we have with this world in general, actually, not just animals, everyone, everything. I believe, and I am going to keep saying this because I believe it's an important message to be shared, that your life is going to be a relationship with life. And as with all relationships, all we have to figure out how to do is be good to our relationships. That if you have a loving relationship with life, with the change that is inevitable with life, the novelty that will come with that, you'll always have more to love. But it is going to be, again, this perspective of love will show you how much you can endure. That just because you love this experience doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be easy. In fact, quite the contrary. Stem cells, like we can go down to the Whole Foods and pick up some stem cells. Don't joke, Joyviv. Those little insulin, syringes are becoming more and more easy to manufacture. Like you can eventually have like stem cells at the Walmart, that you could just like, oh, my knee, I kind of was running and there's kind of obviously going to be abuse, and hopefully we'll have some sort of system to make sure people aren't abusing these things, because you can give yourself cancer, but then we'll probably have cancer treatments. Yeah, it's gonna be, again, we're heading into some weird times, yo. Weird times. Weird times. Viscerally weird times. I miss Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. Are they closed? That sucks. Tears, you're amazing. We don't have them here at all. Tears, you're amazing. Human, you contain the blueprint of the universe right there in your eyeballs. You're the essence, infinite possibilities. Embrace your grace. So beautifully said, Joe. You're absolutely throwing the divinity in chat right now. Stem cells are like $5,000 for a knee. No guarantee if it works. Insurance doesn't cover it. Cash money. Yow! Bow. That's rude, oh. I'm sorry about that. Soon then. Soon these things will be, a part of the process. We're like, oh, just a $5,000? Fine. Why do I waste so much time with nonsense? You're waiting for the future, dude. Believing that you're not in it right now. Believing you don't have power. That's the biggest thing, right? It gives you a sense of power, how you waste your time, but it doesn't empower you. Depending on how you waste your time, if you are enjoying it and if you're actually gaining something out of that experience, right? I feel like that is a very important thing to consider. Are you gaining value from this content you're exposing yourself to? And if the answer is yes, that is like a good reason to continue doing it. If the answer is no, then that's like a good place to start, to like move in the opposite direction. The population is so small in the state, Joy. We share a big company, not sure a big company like those would want to come here. Maybe not yet. Connor, if I didn't waste my time with nonsense, how could I panic and finish in a rush? Look at that. Maxine, all the money is in the oil fields, dude. They ain't Whole Foods. I'm tripping out. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for sharing. I was thinking more and more on the conversation. I just never talk about the real shit I've done, and I really don't want to. I just feel like I need to. Connor, if that is what's going to serve you in this moment, you are encouraged to share. I feel like that has been the policy, at least, pretty consistently. The process of growing hair was awful for me. It kept me going. That I was donating it. Now I see an article last night that says synthetic hair is getting better and more cost effective. That's hilarious, dude. The dude isn't scared that he's enlightened. I'm sorry. Like I shouldn't say stuff like that. Like that's like a cancelable worthy offense or something, right? But no, you can't. Like there was this joke. What's his name? John Mulaney, I think that was his name. I watched his comedy special, and he goes into the strip of he doesn't care about what people think about him anymore, because he's at least the version of himself that he used to be has literally gone to the extreme of almost killing himself with his, problems, to say it in so many words. And he's like, "What? You gonna cancel me? I almost killed me, right? I'll kill me. I almost did it." You can't cancel someone who is that dangerous to themselves even. That's the Catch-22 duck. They make all the money, and there's a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna not say these words out loud. Thank you, Melty. You're the best. No, you say no. The past is so confusing. Some people say to just let it go, and some say to unpack it to understand it. I don't know which is correct. You do both. You unpack it, understand it, and then let it go. Right? Because if you unpack it and you claim to understand it, you haven't let it go. There are still things for you to process. Talking about that shadow side, that unending rage, that kind of is directed towards my dad in large part, right? Like feeling like there's a part of me that feels things should be better. There should be more consideration. There should be an openness, believing that the lack of openness is almost the worst thing for the human mind. A closed human mind doesn't get to experience the fullness of the human experience. Like if you aren't willing to suspend your beliefs, you cannot be fascinated. Right? Thinking about it like from a perspective of watching a magic show. Like what you're seeing, more than likely a sleight of hand. But being too involved in trying to watch whatever is happening, you could enjoy doing that as well, but you might end up just missing the point. Peppy is licking me. Thank you, Peppy. That's nice, but that's a little bit disturbing. No, please, you need to stop. You need to stop doing that. Peppy, please. Thank you. Stop doing that. She's like pushing her face against my leg and licking my leg. Okay, that's nice. A little bit more chill. Let's see. This is a process. You have to be uncomfortable a few times before you understand what doesn't serve you. This process happens at different rates for different folks. You're on the right path. Thank you for echoing that, Joe. So much love. You're right, Joe. The past few months, you got this. Thinking. My dog, Connor, Patrick, Dehan. Your friends are sharing so much love. How far behind am I? The Wi-Fi still kicking. I'm embarrassed to say that the interaction with him was 12 years ago. I think I'm actually starting to see that it would be such a beautiful thing for all of us to see how powerful and beautiful we are in that power. We are slowly but surely getting to do that. This is a mirroring of the self, right? My bestie is black, but she has white skin. Think Hansei. She's had the wildest shit said to her because people don't know she's black. Racism or outrage for stereotypical behavior. What is the type of things that are said to her? Maybe that doesn't matter actually. Maybe the point is to not be mean to one another, right? No matter what we look like. Anyway, I also think hanging out with these kind of people in itself is a healing exercise. Racism is so fucking ugly. It's I don't know I'm gonna say it. Racism is stupid. Racism is a little bit stupid, right? If you're I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to call people stupid, but I think of it from the perspective of depth, right? When you look at a person, right, what you see is a reflection of yourself. The depth with which you consider your human experience and what makes you a human experiencer, you can look at other people with that depth as well. The way I think of it from this perspective of growing up as a child, right? I like to do that, looking at people, trying to imagine what their childhood was like, what it was like for them to grow up in a household, to have a certain family, to have a certain, sibling kind of arrangement. Like all of those things are kind of like the same for all of us, right? And if you look at a person and you make a racist assumption about them just based on skin, to me, it's almost like a lack of depth. Like you are literally lacking the depth of what a person actually is. And that to me, that lack of depth, I consider stupidity, because just open your eyes and see, right? Just consider for a moment that you're not that different. None of us are. None of us are that different. All of us suffer. All of us feel pain when harm is done to us. The best thing we can try and do is reduce suffering, and holding racist beliefs is the best way to increase more suffering, right? Even if it's just the triggering of an experience of self-belief, right? It's like you as a person might have a certain assumption, right, of what certain people believe about you. And even if 99.99% of the people you interact with don't communicate those beliefs, just one person showing up in that way in your fractal will hurt you forever, right? You have the potential to hurt people forever, or to help them, to heal them, to serve them forever, right? And think something you said to them and something you've actually tried to make clear. Don't remember a lot of my childhood for a reason, yet I don't want my past to be given power over me. You need to go and see someone who will actually sit down with you day after day, unpack all of this and help. I don't consider myself a professional, so I don't know if I actually can do that for you. So much love. Let me get a little bit more present. That is being sent. Love, tunes, love is true. Psychedelics were not put here by accident. I'm not gonna recommend you use psychedelics just yet. I think it might actually be better if you start by seeing a medical professional, right? You start talking about all of this stuff, you start doing all of the work you feel is there for you to be done. And then when you feel comfortable with having done this inner work, I think then it might be a good time to consider taking psychedelics, so that you can take all of these concepts and reframe, kind of like show yourself in a very visceral way what certain belief systems, what certain ideas do to your state of mind and to the way you experience life. But do the work first, right? Like I feel the psychedelics don't do that much other than just making you feel what the fuck if you don't know what's up, right? That's like at least my experience. If you haven't actually considered the that was a bird. If you haven't really considered the extent of what your life and your purpose here might be, feeling interconnected with everything might be exceedingly trippy. Right? Oh, what? Wait a second. I am connected to everything, and everything else is connected to me. What does that mean? What the hell's happening? Right? Or it's like, oh yes, of course, I am in the earth right now. I am breathing atmosphere. Right? There's a layer of earth that you are inside of. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do that. And you're not sucking air in. You are creating a vacuum, and then air, like a flow, rushes into your body. It's like a viscous medium that you can move through. There's some creatures that are so small that this viscous medium is just something they can push off on, like it's water. Right? Crazy place. Connor, you're actually on the cleansing, the healing journey right now. So much love is being shared. I wonder if I brought my cards. I didn't. They're still behind me. Let's pull some cards while we still have some light. I mean, I have tripped more than a few times. Maybe doing it alone would be more introspective. You haven't ever tripped alone? Yeah. Tripping with people is very different to tripping with yourself. Because with other people, the reflection you get is other people. With yourself, the reflection you get, you won't guess this, is yourself. But and sometimes can be a little bit uncomfortable coming face to face with yourself, with your own stuff, seeing it undeniably in front of you can be a little bit much. Trip by myself on an airplane one time. I do not recommend that fractal tripping on a plane, dude. That does sound like a little bit too much stimuli. I also wouldn't recommend. The must release my trapped memories. Then I saw professional help. There we go. That could be a way as well. I'm not saying it should be one way. I'm just saying it could be one way, and the other way might be more responsible. Like from being in a position of power, right? Saying something to you that might actually influence the things you do. Would I rather you go to therapy, really talk about the things holding you back, and then eat mushrooms? Or would I just be like, yeah, just eat mushrooms. Oh, everything will be okay. You see, that wouldn't be responsible of me. I tripped on a closing shift when I was working at Ben & Jerry's in my 20s. Didn't get shit done. It's just like standing there with like something in your hand and being like, my whole life, my life, oh my life, my that's like one of the big mushroom trips. Joy, what happened? I was on a bus the first time I did LSD. Oh my goodness, you friends are wild. Yeah, I was at a music festival the first time I did LSD, so I don't know if that's much better. I was on a bus in a weird way as well. Only the bus was a music festival, and we were chewing kind of into the. Oh goodness, I thought the Wi-Fi bonked out for a second there. It was amazing, Beansy, going on an adventure. Should be, but it should be international every time, Melt. Intentional, yes. Like if you take mushrooms or any psychedelic without intention, anything, if you do anything without intention, the thing you do will be intentionless, right? You don't want anything to be intentionless. Connor, working on getting the help. It's 7 hours for me to be up. Fall camping in one of the most beautiful places in the country. Love is true. I was at home the first time I tripped LSD, but I think the insanely poor choice to watch Monsters Incorporated at the peak. That is, I don't know if that's insanely pure. I mean, it probably would have been very opening. I was just breaking up a nugget of weed and an ant crawled out. What? That's a first. That is a first. That background is such a vibe. I had to share it. Okay, let's pull a card. This one. Oh, it's upright. Not that orange, but still pretty trippy. Wild orchids. Wild orchids. Something hidden. I don't know. Am I hiding something? Am I hiding something? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Maybe I didn't complain as much as I usually do. A part of me really wants to complain. A part of me wants to be like, meh. But that part of me, I don't really. I think it's good that it's hidden. It's not intentional deception. I'm just putting it away for now. Leave me alone, Mesquite. You Musquatty. I actually got him. Yeah, Musquatty got Musquatted. Connor, I'll send you some pictures. Yeah, love is true. Please do. Also should mush several days per week. Microdosing depending on the cuteness of the mush. It's working on healing my brain damage and reprogramming me. Do so intentionally. Did you say orchids? Wild orchids is true. Card number 11. Where's Toast Melos right now? It's been nice sharing space with you. It's nice having you here as well. Another mushroom mosquitoes. It ends with the corporate bigwig getting hauled off screaming. A true fairy tale. Ah, and then the corporate bigwigs was dragged out, kicking and screaming, and everybody lived happily ever after. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, with that in mind, we'll read card 11's meaning. Wild orchids, lush, verdant. Lush and verdant, already spazzing out. Lush and verdant, these wild orchids honor the exquisite beauty of the plant kingdom. Yo! Yo! Yeah! Yeah, Shan, let's go. Plant kingdom, all of the frequencies embedded in this card is the geometry of the star tetrahedron. However, something is hidden. Eyes. I don't know if your friends saw that. Eyes. Look out from the green hearts. Yeah, you see that. Look at them eyes looking at you. Quietly watching and waiting to see what will be revealed. We did talk about waiting for the future. The dragonfly is here to help you dispel illusion. The illusion that the future is real, that you're not living in it already. This card asks you to look within and contemplate what you may be hiding or what is being hidden from you. This is not about intentional deception. There is no sense of trickery or lies. Nevertheless, something you have not considered may be affecting your inquiry. View the beauty of these wild orchids and ask your inner knowing to uncover things hidden so that you may gain a broader perspective of your current situation. Simply recognizing that you are holding back may prompt your awareness to reveal what has been unseen. Your willingness to bring to light things concealed may open the doors of your perception and strengthen your ability to experience the wholeness of the situation. Skibow. Bow skimow. Wow skabow. That card is like tripping with the hidden image. The longer you look at it, right? Something peeking back at you. So much love. There's so many more blossoms on my orchid plant right now. Of course, the synchrony. I've been trying to go up duck. It's a fantasy at that point, hearing about how peaceful it's up there. You're where you're supposed to be. You're where you're supposed to be. There's nothing outside of this experience. You're gonna have to come back to it as well. After the hurricane last year, my dad had a tree fall down on his property. I placed a bunch of orchids on the fallen hibiscus tree. I'm waiting for the seasonal bloom. Joe, send photos if you can. I love flower language, of course. It's all tucked in the bark and the roots and such. I think it looks amazing. Thank you, friends, for sharing this amazing moment with me. If it wasn't for you being here, it wouldn't be. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking any time to spend with me. We'll do it again soon, tomorrow. Love you, Melty. Love you. All the love. Love is true. Love is true. Keep reminding yourself, love is true. I wouldn't be here if not for love, right? I wouldn't keep breathing if I didn't love breathing. Oh man, I love breathing. Feels good. Love drinking water. Love feeding myself good food. Love moving my body. You make this real. No, you. Love you. Let you go. Love all of you so bigly. Hope you get water and power soon. Fingers crossed. More fingers crossed. Crossing my crossed fingers. Suddenly folds myself into a pretzel. Collapse into a supermassive black hole. Eat the earth hole. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I love you all so super. So super. Very, very super gloriously, hugely, dearly, Melton, all of you wonderfully amazing friends. Love you. Thank you. Thank you all. Love you, all of you. So much love. Blessings. I'll see you again soon. Love you. Cheers.